Alright, hello everyone, this is Kwaku Today's video is going to be on actives and passives and the random, or the rares that you get and what to do with them. First thing, I know there's been a lot of confusion. There are 4 tiers, technically there's a couple more, but 4 main tiers of active passive combinations. Starting with tier 1 being the best to tier 4 being the worst. Some examples of tier 1 ones I'm going to show you some of them from my team, such as Emerald here. She is a lethal snipe. We consider her a tier 1 because her passive is all about attack, and her active is also about attack. If your active and passive match, that makes a tier 1 monster. If, such as Cecile here, Cecile has Snipe, which is based on attack, and has Shaman, which has 35% recovery and 20% attack. The secondary trait is attack, which makes it a tier 3. If the primary had been attack with an additional secondary one, being the recovery, then it would have been a tier 2. But in this case, since attack is the non-dominant stat for this particular passive, this is a tier 3 monster. Only reason why this one is on my team is because it is a Virgo, and it complements my team nicely. This is Linda. She is a tier 1 Snipe Rogue. Rogue is the more advanced version of Snipe. Or I guess I should just say more aggressive version. It is completely attack based, but it also sacrifices health in order to raise the attack farther than what lethal can. With Rogue and lethal are both considered tier 1 combinations when it comes to snipe or blast or any other attack-based active. To show you a little bit more, let's go to, here's another one, Mender. Mender is the most advanced version of, or most aggressive version of a healer. It sacrifices attack for recovery. But because my active is a healing-based item and is based upon the recovery, and my passive is also recovery, this is also considered a tier 1 monster. This is actually a great additive to my group. Let's see, my last one, this is a tier 4. It is an epic, which is really cool, and I think pretty much the only reason why it's on my team. It is a Troop War event monster, but the Snipe and Priest. Priest is the lethal equivalent of recovery. It gives no benefit to the active at all. Also, this is another thing. If you notice how Priest says that it's off, for those that don't know, you only get the benefits of your passives if your Zodiac, which in this case is Aries on this one, matches at least 3 other ones. So to word that another way, you have to have 4 of the same passives in order, or sorry, the same Zodiacs on the team in order for the passives to be active. Anyone who's not a part of that passive does not get the benefit. There is exceptions to that using the old passives, but they're not really relevant. If you really need more information on that, just request it and I will write up something on it. But it's not very relevant to today's battle camp. But in any case, now that we've kind of gone over this, I mean, you've seen I've got a tier 3, a couple of tier 3 tier 1s, and a tier 4 on my team. Where's an example? Actually, now here's where we go from here. When you are working with them, with rares and stuff, you can see I've got a pretty good collection of monsters that are available right now. A lot of them are rares. What to do with the ones that you have? I take all the ones that I can use for leveling up my passives. If you notice, like my Mender here, my Mender is a level 6. I have leveled this up 5 times. Originally it was 65% recovery and I think 10% loss on attack. For each level it went up 10% recovery and down 2% attack. It will continue to do so, I think, all the way up to level 11. But in any case, you can level up your characters, and you can do that by feeding them monsters, which I set all of my feeders aside that are good for my passive leveling inside of my box here. So to give a description here, we're going to do the lethal. Here is a lethal rare, and here is a super lethal. Both of them are worthless to me at this point in time. They have, you can see this one's a big heal and a lethal. That's a tier 4. Worthless in any market. This one is a barrier and lethal, and that's also barriers based upon health. The more I think it increases the monster's health by 20%, so the more health you have, the better the benefit of the barrier. Lethal is completely worthless. It's another tier 4. So I'm going to take these 2 tier 4s. We are going to restore them, and here comes the kicker. The higher level that it is, the more monsters that you will have to feed. In this particular case, we're going to be leveling up Emerald. Emerald is going to go from lethal 3 to 4, we hope. In this particular situation, the lethal will be, or for the super, will be worth 60% chance, and the rare will be 30% chance. You can combine those if you feed both at the same time for a total of a 90% chance. That's what we're going to be shooting for. So 1 in 10 chances that it doesn't level up, which would suck because it would be a waste. But the higher your level is, the lower your chances are, so the more monsters and the higher tier monsters you need in order to level them up. This is just going to be an example for you. We'll go all the way to the end of our monsters here. You can see right here, 60% chance to level up. And we add the rare for now a 90% chance to level up. It's going to cost me, there's 300 per monster to feed when it's max level like this, so it's going to cost me 600 stones here. And it gives me a warning about feeding a super or better. Yes, I do want to feed it. And loading. Okay, good. We got our passive level up. So now we are now level 4. If we go back, you can see the benefits have changed. We have now gone from 71% to 79%. With these, they go up 8% per level. It started off at 55. I've added 3 levels. That's 24 plus 55 equals your 79% here. His attack was originally at 1,950. It has now been raised to 2033 is now the attack. So that's an additive at about 80 some attack. Not bad, not great, not bad. Well, it is what it is. You level them up, they become much more powerful. Each attack gets more powerful. Your active gets better. So 500 now is going to be, so that's 80 times 5. My snipe just became 400 damage more lethal. But in any case, so that's your first option to do with those if they match the passives of your primary team. If they do not, as do all of these other ones, let's see, this Manuela, Lillian, I guess, is a shaman. I don't have any shamans. I was just saying Lillian. Erwin is a champion. I don't have any champions on my team. And Juanetta is a priest. I do not have any priests on my team. You get the idea. They're essentially they are worthless for my team. They're worthless for my passive leveling. So these are ones that we're going to go and salvage. So we're going to go over to, there we go. See, my power rating went up 838. We're going to go over to the True Paul. Should be familiar to all of you, of course. And we're going to run over here to the salvage section. In the salvaging, it will show you all the monsters that you currently have. I'm going to go through and salvage all of my rares. They're all worthless to me. They don't mean much of anything. So we're going to go... But I do want to show you this first. What can you do with the items that you salvage? When you salvage, you are going to get these sort of essences right here. Rare essences if you salvage rares. Super essences if you salvage supers. And ultra essences if you salvage ultras. Rare essences, if you get 115 as shown here down here at the bottom, you get to make a super egg, which takes 24 hours for it to get to the hatch stage. Then you can hatch it and you've got yourself a new super. Very consistently, I find you probably get about an average of 2 essence per monster. You get a lot of 1s and 2s rolls, and then randomly you get 5s or 7s, and they seem to kind of balance out to about 2 per item. So it's going to take you about 55, a little more than 55, 56, 57 rares to get a single super egg. It's not the fastest of ways, but it's better than just doing nothing with your random rares. So we go into salvage. We're going to take Manuela here. Going to cost you 50 stones a shot. You get 127 per salvage. I have not figured out if the tier of your monster makes any difference. You can see this was a really good roll. I got 6. My goal also in this one, I've got 11, maybe 12 rares that I'm going to salvage. Really hoping to make it to that 115 so I can show you that. Not difficult or anything, but just to kind of have that on video here. Okay. Lillian. Here's 1. So we got 7 so far. We needed 25, so we're at 7. That makes 8. I'm going to start counting the number of monsters too. So 8 for 3, 9 for 4. Johnny here. Oh, yeah, hey, 9 for 4. I'll try to keep that in mind. Anyway, when you do an event rare, you get these rare treats. Rare treats have an ability to do something that's called R boosting. They kind of level up your monster. I'll show you this here in a moment. I'll have a few of these from salvaging event characters here, but we'll show you that here. So 9 for 4 so far. I'm gonna salvage. There's 10 for 5, so we're down to that 2 that I was referring to. 2 per monster. For 5, that is 12 for 6. So we're about halfway there. Um, 13 for 7, drop below the 2 mark. $14 for 8. Probably not going to make it. Unless we get a good roll. $15 for 9. So we need another 10 between the next 2. Not likely to happen. $17 for 10. 17 for 10. Okay, so we would need 8 more out of this next one, which is not even a possibility. Might sacrifice our one item, the Leo. But we'll see. Depends upon this roll. Nope. Okay. So I came out with a total of 109. I need another 6. I don't have enough rares laying around to do it. All I've got is my one last one. Very low chance of actually getting there. But essentially, you would go in here, you would hit this craft button down here, and then it would start a 24-hour countdown. In 24 hours, you would come back, and this would be a claim button. You'd claim it. Once you claim it, it actually goes to your social section under your inbox and into your gifts, and you would see it show up down here. You would then accept it, and then you could hatch it inside of your box. Just for those that were curious. If you have any questions regarding the active passives or what to do with your monsters, please let me know. But this should have been fairly comprehensive. Oh wait, that's right. I wanted to show you guys the R boosting too. Generally, you'll use this only for your end game. Is kind of the idea. The chances of upping it are very low. You'll see what I'm talking about here. This is the only R monster that I have, is this Trade Kwaku, which I really need to change its name. If you have any recommendations for what I should name my Imhotep here, let me know. But in any case, you can feed him because he's an R monster. You can see these purple numbers here. These purple numbers are the R boost numbers. They will increase your stats by very minute amounts with very low chances of it occurring. It's kind of like an end game thing, just make it better than someone else's. But I've got 3 of them here, and you'll see if I stack these, it makes no difference on this chance up here. 2.5, doesn't matter how many I do, it just makes no difference. So you get a 2.5% chance, so do 3 of them individually. Okay, nothing there. Horribly low chance of this actually working. Nothing. Okay, so I couldn't show you actually any benefit, but essentially one of these numbers would have changed to the number 1, and it would have added, if I'm not mistaken, 1 point to that particular item. So it's very, very minute differences, makes very, very little difference. But end game stuff, just bragging rights, saying that yours is better than someone else's, better than default, that sort of thing. Also, you can feed them other R rares or things like that, and they will also get boosts and benefits. It's an event, okay. Other than that, that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you all very much for watching, and enjoy your afternoons.